friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is my channel where we learn all things flute. So thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, we'll be learning the First Noel, and this is going to be for an advanced beginner, so at least playing 1 or 2 years. So if you're interested, then just keep on watching. As always, if you have any questions throughout the video, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. Also, if you have any issues when it comes to practicing, feel free to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 really easy steps to follow to help guide your practice sessions. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. So as I mentioned, we will be learning the First Noel. I am taking the music from 8notes.com, which I've included a link in the description down below. Again, this is not sponsored. I just really like using their website. They have great arrangements for beginners all the way up to advanced, so highly recommend checking them out if you're ever interested. In this one, I will be reading it from the flute quartet part, again linked in the description. Because this one is playing up in that higher range, it goes up to a high C. I am putting this for the advanced beginner. However, if you do have experience playing in the higher register, then this should be no problem for you. The rhythm is quite simple and it's just a matter of getting up to those higher notes. I'm going to be putting up a transcription of the first part here for you to take a look at, and we'll go through our first 6 starter bits before we get into playing the piece. Alright, so let's start with number 1, our key signature. We'll take a look in between the treble clef and our time signature to see if we have any accidentals there. So I don't see any there, so that can either mean that we're in C major or A minor. So we'll take a look at our first note and our last note to see if we have the tonic of either of the key signatures. In this case, the first flute part does not play the tonic, does not have the C in either the first or the last note. However, it is part of the C major triad. It is the third note there. So we do have that there. If you're looking at the score, you'll notice that there are C's in the second part and also in the last part, in the beginning and the end. So I would say we are in C major. We'll make sure we are taking a look to see if we can find the minor key here. So again, how we find the minor keys, we can either go down 3 letter names or up 6. So it would be C, B, A. So that would be A minor. That's how we know the relative minor key. We want to look to see if we can find either the raised 6th or 7th. So generally we're going to be looking for that raised 7th. So we're going to go down 1 semitone from that tonic. So that would be G sharp or F sharp. Generally we'll be looking for those G sharps. So we're going to take a look throughout the piece and see if we have any G sharps. I don't see any, so I'd say we are in C major, which we are. Number 2, we're going to be looking at our time signature. So here we are playing in 3/4. So the top number tells us how many beats we have per measure. So we have 3 beats per measure, and the bottom number tells us what kind of note those beats are. 4 represents a quarter note, so that means you're playing 3 quarter notes per measure. Number 3, you're going to be looking at our tempo indication. So here we don't have anything written on the score. So for this one, I'm going to be doing it at a quarter note equals 94 when we are clapping and counting. So again, if you want to play this slower, you can always go back into the playback settings and set it slower. Or if you want alternatively to play this a little bit faster, then you can always go into the playback settings and make it faster. But I highly recommend when you're learning the rhythm, just to make sure you know it right, practice it at a slower tempo where you know you're not making any mistakes, and then slowly increasing it until you are at the final tempo. Number 4, we're going to be looking at our dynamics. So here we don't have any written dynamics again. So again, I would recommend playing it at a nice mezzo forte to forte, which is moderately loud to loud. So you want to have a really nice open sound. That should be your main goal. But of course, if you want to experiment with any of the dynamics throughout the piece, that is highly recommended. Number 5, we're going to be looking at our articulation. So here we have a lot of slurs, so we're going to be making sure that every time we see a slur that we only tongue the first note and not the note following, or any notes under the group with that slur over top. Otherwise, we are just making sure that we are tonguing every single note, so having a nice gentle tub before each note to make sure that they are nice and clear. And then number 6, finally, we're going to be looking at our roadmap. So we're going to take a look and see if we have any decapos or repeats. So I'm going to take a look. I don't see any, so we're just essentially going to be reading it from the top to the bottom. Alright, so let's get into clapping and counting this piece. So again, I am going to be clapping this at a quarter note equals 94, and make sure that you are clapping the dotted quarter and eighth notes correctly. So if you feel like you need to write in the rhythm there, so in the full bar number 2, if you want to count the C there with 1 and 2, and then put the and above the eighth note there, that's totally okay. So let's clap and count the piece again. Quarter note equals 94. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Very nice. So again, before you get into playing the piece, make sure that you're very comfortable with copying and counting it. And before we do play it with the flute, we'll do a quick note recap just because it is really important to make sure that you do know all the notes. So our range here is going to be from that middle C all the way up to the high C. So we're playing that 1 octave here. So that would sound like this. So you're playing in this range. If you're not sure you remember all of the note or the fingerings, make sure that you check out the fingering chart that I have located in the description of every single video. It'll make sure that you know all of the fingerings correctly, making sure that you have a really nice open sound, so you have to have a lot of air support especially when you're playing in those higher notes. So again, making sure you're taking lots of nice, really calming deep breaths, just like you're yawning before you play and start, to really make sure that you're getting in the right habit of breathing correctly. And of course, if you're still not certain of the notes when you're in those ledger lines, feel free to write it in with a pencil or whatever you need in order to make sure that you know which notes are coming up. Alright, so now we're going to play it with the flute. So again, a quarter equals 94. 1, that's going to be it for today's video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. Also, if you're having issues with practicing, check out my free practice guide, also in that description down below. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope that you're enjoying this little Christmas series that I have going. And of course, if you have any requests or anything, drop them in the comment section down below there as well. Alright, so thank you so much again, and as always, happy fluting!